Capricornicus. So glad you're here. This is Joy with Joy the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, click that subscribe, ring the bell. They'll notify you anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide here, Joy of the World, give us that big thumbs up, like, and share. It makes all the difference and helps get this message out, because I don't timestamp my things and I don't put all these crazy promises in there. They don't get circulated as much. They get circulated by you, the people who tune in and watch this. Share it, watch it, save it, whatever you got to do. Leave comments down below, because honestly, I'd love to know what's going on the other side of this lens. I am one little person. I only know what's going on in my life, but I want to know what's helping you and what's going on in your mind and how you're growing as a person, because that's why I'm here at Joy of the World, and why they put me forward is to really connect so that together we're better. And wherever two agree on earth, it is done in heaven. But I want heaven to come down to earth. I want your best dreams down here on earth, so that you live satisfied and fulfilled, bold, bright, and beautiful, confident, moving forward in your life. Because as you do, that's a ripple effect that planes out into our world, making it better as well. It makes my life genuinely a better place to know that you are happy, healthy, and thriving. I'm so thrilled to be a part of it. If you wonder where I've been, Hurricane Sally rode her Mustang right on through here, and she slowed her ride down, zapped out our power, and did many other things. So I took a little time, since I could not upload nor record. So I got it all back together, and here we are to take a look at this week with a one-card wonder. And I'm like, oh, I wonder which card. And they're like, Joy, many cards. And I'm like, why are you teasing me? Life, why are you tricking me? What's that all about? And they're like, Joy, it's going to be one tarot card. And we got the Mystic Dream Tarot going on here. But then we're going to bring in the runes, which many of you love, and the credit cards as clarifiers to go along with our Moon Oracle. And we also have Pluto and Mars showing up. They've been making strong aspects this year in the sign of Capricorn, which many of us know. We've been having our foundations and our mountains shaken for sure, because it is all going on in our sign. But these are things that could seem like difficult placements and positions, but really they afford us leg up. They afford us an opportunity, a window of opportunity to step in, to wormhole, to time warp, to time travel, to whatever, to totally shift everything going on. And with the 200 year of air shifting in as well, you talk about an even better perspective. Now, I'm not just jabbering. This is actually part of the energy session that we're leveling up and talking about right now. It just slides right on in there and seems otherwise, but shouldn't conversation always have meaning, friend? Shouldn't it? Shouldn't it all be connection? I don't waste words here. Everyone is meant for you, okay? So we're bringing in that one card. Pluto and Mars are coming in to let us know they're empowering us, and they have our backs in this. They're not these forces and these energies come to shake things up and stir it up and make you learn or whatever. They're like, what is that, grade school? It's kind of like, where is that coming from? They're like, no, we are your friends, we are your lovers, we are here as your helpers, we are your cosmos, your cheerleaders, and your team. We're your assets, your beneficiaries. We are your benevolent givers of life. So that's why they wanted to come in. So, life can woo me in any way. I'm like, one card, not one card, whatever. But let's get on board and get moving forward now, because it has come out. So I'm ready to take a peek along with you, because if you don't know, I am a Capricorn sun. Okay, so we have the Six of Wands. I hear all of you, I love you, I love you. And it's ripe and ready in this season. Now we have the olive harvest, we have the grape harvest coming in. They're saying taste and see that life is good. And that gives you an idea. It is like an effervescence. A whole new self begins to rise up from the depths. Because if you didn't know it, you're not just a goat, Cappy, you're a sea goat. That makes you the most expansive earthwise of all the signs, because you're able to go to the deepest depths, the Marianas Trench, right, to the highest heights, the highest peaks on earth, like that, in the snap, in a whiz, in a bang. People call for it, boom, you're there. And therefore, you've often spent life alone, a lot of times physically alone, but also mentally alone as well, somewhat removed, because you would ask over and over again, people are like, nah, I'll pass, because they're signs that they're not necessarily capable. They're not built with the same inclinations, the same abilities to just pick up, go, see it and succeed without a high danger and a high risk. What is innate to you can be difficult or challenging for others. And you're like, I know, hard is easy for me. But that might also be why you haven't seen all the beauty in your own garden, Capricorn. The massiveness of your potential, because you did so much that others wanted. Since they wanted to see it, taste it, touch it, feel it, smell it, and they couldn't go there, you would have to go and get it alone and retrieve it and bring it back. And they often didn't know what it cost because they haven't traversed those waters, they haven't traversed those lands, and therefore they gobbled up, move on without the same level of return of gratitude, which we know we're not supposed to get it from others. And I'm not saying you ever expected it of any means, but it does begin to deplete the soil of your personage, of who you are, and therefore your need to be rewarded, to be refreshed. And that is what is rising up. There is this whole new synergistic effect going on with you here. What is this about? It's secrets in the garden. Some of you have had secrets stashed away, not taking time for self to reflect on what you have perceived, received, witnessed along many of those journeys. You're showing me you have a greater visual trajectory and pathway than any of the signs. I've never thought of that nor known it. I've never known it. If you just know and understand the power of your potential, is what you're talking about here. You're talking about harvest. Harvest for yourself this year, Capricorn. Harvest for yourself. Take it in. Feed yourself. Like the little red hen, don't even be concerned. Like she had to ask us, do you want to help? Do you want to bake? Do you want to harvest? Do you want to grind the wheat? Do you want to whatever? You don't even have to ask. Just go and get it. Harvest it for yourself and be like, that's so good. Dish up the dinner for yourself and be like, so good. Divine on in and allow your your sauce, your juice, your intimate self to rise up. That is, whoa. You're like, put that down, Joy. Don't you talk about that, Joy. I'm like, sorry. I'm just the microphone. You called for this information in this reading. This isn't my idea nor my opinion. This is what you are showing me. You're so funny. People are like, I didn't know Capricorns were mysterious. I'm like, oh yeah, not at all. Not at all. It's like secrets in plain sight. There really is nothing hidden. Totally forward and out in the front. But people often are blindsided and can't even see it because they're not even recognizing what is right in front of them. You know what I'm talking about if you're a Cappy, right? Okay, so that's what you have here, the power of your potential of pleasing yourself. All the effort and the energy that you've had to be able to go about and to do and all that, life is weighing that, man, it is serious because it's itching to synergize into a hub for yourself of pleasing yourself around your home, pleasing yourself in your immediate environment, of not having to go so far and do so much, which you're saying is the COVID climate. You're like, COVID has hemmed me in and brought me in. You're like, I'm learning to kind of chill with it, to relax in a little bit, to get a little cozy with this energy, and allow my mind to begin to run a little bit more now, and to recall and to remember all those juicy bits and delights that have been tucked away in my garden that I haven't explored in some time. You're talking about an enchanted forest, an enchanted garden. And it is definitely a garden of love, but it's going to come from friendship first. There's some strong bonds of friendship that you have fostered during this time because of the quality and the content of your character, Capricorn. I love that. But one of these friendships, well, several of them wanting to move into some love, they're like, whew, that Capricorn is something. I sure like that Capricorn, male or female, whoever you are. You got people going, swoon. Yeah, but you didn't know it because you're always so, work focused, contribution focused, get her done focused, honey-do focused, that type of thing, that you forgot to really settle into the unctuousness of that energy of pleasure in the pragmatic, of being able to have these moments of what would seem like frivolity for you, but are normal everyday occurrences for everybody else. Talk about some mouthfuls. Let's get a moon oracle on that. This is one of the new decks your donations has afforded us here at Joy the World. I'm super excited about it. Let's see what it has to say for Capricorn and all this unctuous, pleasure and whatever. Well, do I need to speak? Or do we already see it? Swoon and moon. So there's someone who might have caught your eye as well. You had some hidden hopes, some high hopes, but you were able to just still keep putting yourself aside and putting aside your intimacy and that part of yourself, the pleasure seeker, the relationship seeker, because you connect so divinely and so deeply and so connectedly, like a zipper. It won't work unless all the teeth line up, right? You're like the full zip, the full zipper, the full on connection top to bottom. I will tell you it's very easygoing, but let this myth shatter your world, shatter the thing that's kept you separated for so long. It's almost like your oxygen tank, like it was being on display okay? Very much like a snow globe or one of those glitter globes. People would look in on you and just so awe and wonder that there couldn't be that genuine connection. And after a while, that is the state you just began to live and exist in. You didn't even work on dismissing it or getting rid of it because you're like, I don't even have a way to defend myself, express myself, or even connect through that bubble that was put around you, through that containment and the idealism that others had about you, and how they perceive you to be versus who you really are. Who you really are is someone with blood in your veins, with passion in your heart, whose heart beats just like anyone else's, and whose mind and life desires to have that connection, those dreams. It's just that you didn't find others that had the same level of energy, the same level of ambition, the same desire to have love and work, because both bring you pleasure and satisfaction and connection. So it's someone who has to respect themselves as well, someone who's done a great deal of capacity building, expanding, divining. It may be someone who has a little bit of Pisces in their chart. I see the feet kind of dipping off in the water. I can't necessarily say it'll be their sun sign though. It could possibly be their moon sign or their black moon Lilith. Not like you're going to say, hey, give me your birthday, give me your digits. And I don't mean your phone number. Give me your place of birth, your latitude, your longitude, and your birthday. I need to find out where your black moon Lilith is because Joy said. And I'm like, no. Y'all, come on, you just got to roll with me here. But it definitely is this deep divine connection, passion, and power from the earth. But it's so wild, so natural, and that stirs you up. You love that. You love that it's not contrived, that isn't something that has to be overly worked. There's no stress to it. There's nothing to prove. And that's the unique thing about a Capricorn, because even though you can be so refined and so beautiful and successful at things that require several steps and processes in there, you're very uncomplicated as a lover. You're very natural because the things that other people admired about you come naturally to you. Hard isn't hard for you. There isn't a learning curve for you. There really is just a get up and a go that comes from the ground up, that moves through you as if life animates you in and of itself. It's effortless and free, you're talking about. But I love how this white rose, this purity of love, is shattering that facade, that thing that has kept you hemmed in for so long. Because what people may not have known is that separated you from yourself. This was something that is outside of you that you couldn't break through on your own. You could not have. How do I know? There's so many energy channels that I have been taught and shown over and over and over again until they became proven. And in this case, this was in that outer layer from even when you were young, that you couldn't reach that far out on your expanse. So it's up to those around you who love you and connect with you to begin to shatter that and to break on through, because they desire that loving and longing connection with you. Because you delicious. You the dish, Capricorn. All right, so let's get our rune on you being the dish, you being delish, and this breaking on through. What is happening here? Okay, so there were other things trying to obscure, trying to really steal and grab the attention, which you're used to, and that's why you temper and you idle and you just like let it, in the car idles, you just like wait for all the drama to pass on by. Well, this has to do with possessions. This has to do with what is underneath the surface, and what is underneath the surface is what is rising up. Remember? The power coming forth, it is rising up as that bubble. It is a synergistic effect coming forward, and you coming out of this. Well, with that, it's possessions. Okay? Fulfillment, mindfulness, reward, love shared. When to stand up for and when to stand up to yourself. So I really see the masteries occur in the standing up for and to yourself, but it has a lot to do with love shared, and not even just love shared, but the word love is being circled over and over and over again, and it's tapping the button called reward and fulfillment. It's the pure power of love. The pure power of love is what you're talking about here. The freedom to love and be loved, because you're very loving. You have been loving. You have been serving. You have been giving from a pure place and a pure heart. All right, that's why the nakedness, the divineness is here, but the undermining of self, of knowing that it was unrequited, it wasn't being returned. People couldn't connect with you on the same level for whatever reason, couldn't, wouldn't, shouldn't, didn't know, whatever. It's moved past that now, and there's coming in the fulfillment, that divine connection, the ease of getting along with others, of falling into place, of, friend circle, of family issues smoothing out, of work success, whatever it is, It's also the Lover, just so we know. I'm not putting that off for sure. That's definitely what you're talking about here. But removing those boundaries, those limits from you, so that who you are can fully shine and live and exist in this world, heaven on earth, right? In the pentacle realm, in the full capacity of, well, that was obvious. We take the one that held on. Who held on? Ooh, Ace of Wands. I can't even look you in the eye when I talk about that. Talk about striking a match, a catalyst. Talk about fascination. Talk about infatuation, not the negative form. It's literally that's, being drawn in, like the lightning bug. Here you are, boop, boop, send out your signal. Life's like, stepping on up to the plate. Yeah, to me, the aces, they're the zenith, the pinnacle. They're the peak of the mountain. They're the raw, pure potential and force of what brings it fully around. That as all the pearls are strung together, it becomes the clasp that holds it all around, that gives it the meaning and the fullness of the connection. It is the solvent. That's what you're talking about. For those of you who understand solvents, you'll know what that means. It is the solvent. It's the thing that makes it everlasting. Okay, so for some of you, check out Cancer, because it's very much drawing a line to the balance of your sign, right? Because the one that sits directly across from you. So check out the Cancer reading. And for some of you, also take a look at your ascendant sign and your descendant. So the descendant is exactly across the zodiac from where your ascendant is. There's something that you're talking about with this Ace of Wands there about the solvent, and solvent can have to do with solving as well. And solving doesn't mean there's a problem, but remember there was a condition, an issue, a boundary. And so the solvent, it dissolves, it takes away from all that, and it allows you to be freed up. Okay? So clear, that'll be take a look at Cancer because you're Capricorn, right? Or if you're here for some reason other than your sun, look at your sun sign and look directly across the chart and check out that reading, and then check out your ascendant and descendant. I hope that's clear. So let's get a credit card on this Ace of Wands about that mapping out, about the solvent. I see you. Okay. There's something going on here. So raindrops keep falling on the head. That's you. This is what this kind of tried to come out, and this spoke over it. I don't like that because it sort of dominated. And so some of you have been dominated in life, that it's just easier to just keep living in the rut, the road, the fabric, the lane that you've been living in for so long, and you don't need a lane anymore. So it's not like you have to demand your way or try and insist or assert an opinion so that anybody else knows or thinks any differently of you. You're just going to ascend and rise up. You're going to sprout wings and fly like a helicopter, like an osprey, like, whomever. But that was this old coming on in. Some of you very much had an issue with pity, with power, with those type of things obscuring you and trying to dominate you, dominate the conversation, dominate the relationship, the connection, to come back in, to put you down, whatever, suppress and oppress. We're just kicking that and clearing that out of here because I saw this occur, and I saw your truth stepping forward and who you are. So other people's power, potential, and energies doesn't exist here. We've just now dismissed it, moved it out because we became aware of what was happening. We're going to look at this. We're going to look at this, Capricorn, and see all this magic happening here. And you don't just have one tree of life. You have many. You have like an entire grove. You're like, I planted this tree and that tree. I got loquats. I got satsumas. I got banana trees, pomegranates. I got everything because I love life, the full spice of life, the full flavor, the full spectrum. And as you begin to focus on the things that you love about yourself and the things that you love about life, and your mouth begins to water, the juiciness of the thought, as you begin to taste your harvest and the beauty of who you are and the synergistic effect of the delicious divine relationships that are around you, facilitating and fostering your knowledge and beauty of who you really are, that begins to dispel the fears. And fears isn't always this cowering energy. It could be other people's fears that hemmed you in. Remember this? Did I leave it on top? No, you stuck it back in the middle of the deck. You like, put that thing away, Toy. You're right. It was that thing that hemmed you in, because remember, it came from your much earlier years, your formative years, because they grow from the inside out. They gobstop. Okay, so as a gobstopper, it's on the outer realm of your energy, way beyond your ability to access and touch it. And therefore, others, it moves the energy of the world around you, calling like reiterations and examples of proof of what you've already lived. That's why we want our truth to overtake our reality instead of our reality to continue existing as our truth. Okay? So it dispels all that fears of whatever else that negative energy has been going on, and just think of it as something that's worthwhile, because when it sets you free, the person that kept doing the raindrops falling on your head, the pity, the disempowerment, all that stuff, it clears them of it. Because there's no longer a connection there, a bond, a karmic, or whatever going on, that then they can't do it anymore. That food source for that dis-ease that they had is now gone. It's now gone. Because you delight in, you enjoying in your fascinating, delicious, juicy, unctuous self. I'm like, Capricornicus, what is going on? What is going on? So now we're going to take a look at Mars. Mars is our empowerment, and how Mars is using this time in retrograde. He literally told me to come and get our back, to have our back, our protection, so that we don't have to keep our mind going in both directions, that our mind can become more whole-minded and to be unified in energy instead of having to live in past or present or future energy. We can be in the ICU eternal energy, which is a state that is free of force and stress. It's like a thing in physics that when it's not there, it changes the dynamic of the goings on. Oh, incoming. How is that? Oh, okay, it took a minute to see clearly what's happening here. We got the 10 of, I can't even show you. We got the 10 of spades going on. Man, talk about your heart and your will lining up. You know, you're fully on board with this. That's why you're like, yeah, stick that thing away, Joy. We don't want that anymore. Now that we know, we're ready to go. And you are, because this is you, Capricorn. Male or female, it doesn't matter. You're your own superhero coming in, and not to save yourself. You're ready to receive love, like the Lois Lane, the one who can't fly. Because remember, you can fly. You're now no longer having to, dive deep and run up. You have the full expanse of the entire world that is you, of your whole self going on there. But you're about to fall in love. That's what's happening. It's saying incoming. And I'm like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Go Capricorn, and it's a dream come true. Because if we look at it from this way, it's coming from the heavens, coming from the clouds, coming from your dreams, and your many wishes that occur from even the youngest years in life. Of knowing that how you felt and what you're drawn towards, but also finally giving yourself the permission that it is for you. It was always meant for you. You aren't left out. You don't have some special role of only being a servant in this world. You are human. You get to have the full divine experience of enjoyment, of pleasure, of satisfaction, of all that. So incoming. You about to bump into the love of your life. Did I get all the cards? We sure did. Okay, Capricorn. Leave me comments down below. Tell me what is going on. I want to know. I want to get on board with you. I'm excited to be here. Tune back in soon. Love you.